What would your life look like if you had the strength and discipline to do absolutely everything you thought was the wise, right decision starting tomorrow? As Morpheus said, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path, and that difference is everything, because most of us know what we should do. Wake up earlier, eat cleaner, work harder, stop wasting time. We know it, but knowing doesn't move the needle. Doing does, and doing, turns out, is Herculean. Let's talk about why. The first reason is addiction. We like to think addiction is just about drugs or alcohol, but it's everywhere. Addiction to television, addiction to food, addiction to comfort, addiction to certain feelings, even anger, sadness, validation. The human brain wasn't built for this world. It's vulnerable. Less than 10% of adults successfully quit smoking. That's a 1 in 10 success rate. And that's for a habit that everyone knows is deadly. Food addictions don't have clear statistics, but if we're honest, they're probably no better. Try giving up sugar for a month. Try giving up processed junk. You'll see how deep it goes. So addiction is the first vulnerability. The second is willpower. Turns out the willpower center of your brain, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, is tiny, about 3 centimeters, and it grows only when you do things that are hard. The catch? It shrinks fast when you stop. Think about that. The muscle that allows you to do what you believe is right shrinks the moment you stop doing hard things. That's why discipline fades so quickly. It's not just laziness, it's biology. Why is it so small? Because in the hunter-gatherer days, you didn't need to reason your way into doing the right thing. If a lion chased you, fear made you run. If your stomach was empty, you picked up your spear and you chased. You didn't need discipline to survive. Now you can live and die on your couch, and everything you need will be delivered to your door. So you're fighting millions of years of evolution just to eat a salad instead of fries. And yet somehow we still try. We make promises to ourselves. Starting tomorrow, I'm really going to do it. But here's the next obstacle, the world around you. Because the day you decide to start isn't the day everyone else does. You'll stand out. And standing out in itself has a pressure on it, like gravity. It's extremely difficult to be the only one at the restaurant table who orders nothing and eats nothing because you decided to start eating healthy. No one at the table tells keep it up. They ask you, are you sure you don't want some fries? That's how it always begins. Pressure from the comfortable majority. And it's easy when it's food, but what if it's something stranger? What if it's ice baths? What if it's reading the same book 100 times until you memorize every line? What if it's practicing speeches in the mirror while everyone else scrolls through TikTok? The stranger the act is the more intense the gravity. Every one of these habits, every one of these commitments is as hard as quitting cigarettes. And while you're in the middle of fighting that kind of battle, how much energy do you really have left to reframe it in a way that is digestible when the act itself takes everything? What are just a few words to reframe it? More than you have left. That's why the first priority must always be do what you think is right. Not talk about it, not justify it. Just do it. Only once you've done it, once it's built into your bones, comes the second priority, reframing it in a way people can stomach. Because after a year of doing the right thing, it's no longer fragile. It doesn't require constant defense. Now, you can talk about it with ease. Someone offers you fries, you just say, Brian Johnson wouldn't eat fries. You anchor your behavior to a familiar name. Suddenly, it's not you being extreme, it's just something people do. Someone criticizes you for not having enough fun, you don't get defensive. You just give them Alex Hormozzi's line. If you want to be in the top 0.01%, the best of 10,000, in an arena where only one can survive, do you really think you can afford to rest on weekends? Are you that good? Because I'm not. And what can anyone say to that? Nothing, because the truth has been framed. That's the pattern. First you do the thing, then you find the words, not the other way around. When you try to make it sound reasonable before you've lived it, you break it. Because the truth is still forming, you're still proving it to yourself. You can't convince of a truth you haven't yet embodied. So the next time you think about changing something in your life, remember, you don't need the perfect argument. You don't need to make it sound normal. You just need to start. Do the thing quietly, repeatedly, until it's yours, because one day, after the hard part is done, you'll have the words too. So first, do what's right, then find the words. There is no other way. If you found this message useful, share it. Someone out there is still stuck between knowing the path and walking it.